All right, North, and specifically North close defensemen. We've got our game coming up against East Greenwich tomorrow, and we're going to have a new close defenseman filling in, and so I wanted to go over the positioning. This will apply to all three of the guys that are normally back there. But specifically for Nick, you're watching this, and I want you to just kind of pay attention so you'll know exactly what you need to do and where you're going to be playing. So as you come back into the close D, remember, you got three of you back here, and your primary duty is to, protect the house, basically, right? So think about that kind of being the house area. And the first thing you need to know is where you need to stand. But before we even get to that, your responsibilities as a close defenseman is to break up dodges, potentially recover ground balls in the house, and then also just be mindful of where your man is. And what we're going to set up as far as the defense goes, it's a team defense concept, but we're going to give you a specific area to be primarily responsible for so that you understand kind of where you're supposed to go. So let's talk about that first. The team we play can come out and play a couple different sets. And I'm just going to show you where you're going to stand depending on what they do. So if they play an open set, similar to our gold offense, the man that you're responsible for is going to be this guy back here, okay? So the two wing poles, whether that's Greg or Henry on either side, you guys are responsible for the wing attackman primarily, and then Nick, you'll be responsible for the guy back at the crease. Now, for the game tomorrow, we will not, if the man at X, sorry, I said crease, X is what I meant. If the man at X has the ball, for the most part, we are not going to go back there and play him. Okay, what we're not going to do is have you come down here and play him behind the cage. We're just going to let him stay back there, and we're going to guard against potential feeds and cuts coming in from the other guys. So we'll draw in our defense and kind of take care of that. So if they put the ball back there at X, that's okay. Just let him do whatever he's doing back there. If he decides to dodge on one side or the other as he's going to try to come around the crease, at that point, now my middle close D, and Nick, that's going to be you, now you have to go and stop that dodge. Okay, so you're going to go that way, or if he comes this way, you're going to go this way, and you're going to stop him. The key to playing close defense, you're going to have a short stick, and that's fine. I'm not going to put a pole in your hands. It's difficult to get used to that right out the gate. And you are very athletic, and you can go ahead and deal with a lot of these guys with your feet. You could probably play this position without your stick. You need your stick so you can recover ground balls and clear the ball, but most of what you're going to need to do when it comes time to no kidding play defense is that when he's coming around, you're going to have to go get on him and push him back out to the alley. You want to get physical, no stick required, get on his hips and push him out. Okay, same thing if he goes the other way. If he dodges this way, come down, close the door to the cage. Don't let him slip underneath, all right? Be mindful of him. He can't go in the crease, obviously, but don't play way out here and give him an opening. You want to sit almost right in that crease so that you can block him out of it and push him out to the edge. Okay, so that's really kind of when you're going to have to get into action if the ball is back here. Now, some of the other offenses that we might see would be, one, it doesn't change your position. So if they decide to play more of a motion offense like our black set, what they can do is they can float their middies up top and invert their triangle and put one midi down here on the crease. So now if they do that, that midi still has a midi defender from our team. He's going to be down here. So he is not your responsibility. Your primary responsibility remains the man back at X. The only time that would shift is if they kept their midi up top like that and inverted their attack triangle, kind of like our black offense, and put them down here. So now our middies are all out. Now you are guarding the man who's on the crease, okay? Because you don't have a guy back at X anymore. So these wing attackmen that are now below GLE, they're the responsibility of the wing poles. And the only time you're going to really have to kind of be aware or worry about that is if this guy tries to dodge in, and if he manages to beat that pole, you are the hot slide. Hopefully everyone understands on the back that they're sloughing in and they can guard this man, because you're going to have to leave him. You're going to have to go help and push this guy out if he attacks. But that's really kind of the shifting of your responsibilities. If, again, we go back to a normal open, if we go to an open offense, big circle, you're guarding the man at X. If they invert their midi triangle and float them up like that, so a 2-3-1, you are still guarding the man at X, okay? Because this midi is going to come down and guard that midi. Okay, if they leave the middies high and invert the attack and put a man on the crease and drop their other guys down low, something like that, basically. Now you are responsible for the man inside the house here. And just like in our black offense, he's going to be moving around trying to get open so that this guy can kind of dodge and feed to him. So your job here is twofold. You have to know where this guy on the crease is, and coaches will help you out on this. If we see that there's no one at X, that means he's in the house and he's on the crease. And so we're going to let you know, okay, this guy is your man, this is your man. And so always be marking up. Now we know that if we're even, then we shouldn't really have to change positionings. Man defense, you should be able to keep the same guy. If we end up going man down for any reason, then things are going to shift around a little bit. Let's say we go man down and we lose one of our middies, okay? So now, instead of what we had before, which would be a 5-person perimeter with a one guy in here on the crease, if we lose this guy, and let's say that they go open, right, and they float this guy back down, and what they're looking for now is the matchup, right? The place where they could find the guy without a defender. Since this midi went, in theory, it would be this guy. And this is where things get a little bit trickier. And for you, the middle midi, your job's going to change. So just like when we run 4-cone Savage or 5-cone Savage, based on where the ball goes is what's going to define your job. A lot of times in a man down or an extra man offense, they won't put a man on a crease. Sometimes they will. If they do, it kind of makes your responsibility a little bit easier. If they go open, though, now this circle has to rotate. Okay, so what would happen then is if the ball's up top, this midi's on ball, this pole is hot left, this midi is hot right, this pole is 2 right, and you are now 2 left. Okay, if the ball moves, this pole is going to go on ball, you're hot left, you're hot right, you're 2 left, and you're 2 right, sloughing in. Okay, so again, it just shifts and shifts and shifts. If the ball comes down here, you are now on ball. The other pole over here is hot left, hot right, 2 left. And it just shifts around as it goes around the circle, okay? If they decide to leave a guy on the crease, let's say that they want to have these guys up here for shots, and they're going to put this midi down here. If they do that, then this being Nick, in this example, you're going to lock off this man at the crease, and what we're going to end up with is a 4-person perimeter against 5 guys, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders to deal with them. And so again, that box now will shift based on where the ball is, but the center defenseman, in this case Nick, you're just going to lock off this man on the crease. You can't allow him to be open for a quick feed and dump, because that's what they'll be looking for. They'll be looking to draw a defender and dump to this man for the shot. So you're going to just lock him off, face guard him, make sure he's not an option. If he is a threat, if we get a player that's maybe not as proficient, and he, you know, we've seen that maybe he doesn't catch and pass or shoot very well, and he's not a big danger, then we can ease up a little bit. We'll have to read the player and kind of see how he is. But if he's dangerous, we'll have to have you just lock him off. And what that means is ball comes up here. This midi is ball, I'm hot right, hot left, 2, and that's all we got. Remember, so you're supporting on a dodge this way, you're supporting on a dodge this way, the ball comes here, you're on ball, and you're trying to knock down this skip pass to the backside. Nick on the crease, you are just locking off this crease guy. Ball comes down here, okay, on ball, hot left, hot right, 2. Sloughing in again. Being mindful of the backside cut. Just like we practiced, they'll be looking to feed this backside. So you do have to slough in, because if this guy dodges and beats this pole, Nick has to go on the hot slide, and you are now covering the crease guy to avoid a quick dump and fire. Okay, man down gets tricky. There's no way around it. You have to be very athletic, and you have to be moving, and talking. If you don't communicate, then someone is going to get left open, and they'll have a good shot opportunity. But at the end of the day, defense is about athleticism, moving, communicating, and being aggressive when it's your time to go defend, okay? If we go back to the even situation where we've got, we'll say maybe a midi on the crease, but they are playing, you know, this type of situation where we got defense, and your man is back here at X. It's being patient. If the ball comes down here, I'm on ball, he passes here, this defender should come back in, right, to just touch inside the house. And we're just going to be patient and watch what he does now, okay? We're going to stay inside the house, ready to defend any dodge if we need to, but also ready to go and play ball if the ball gets passed over to this man. I'm going to go play ball. You're going to shot, kind of be on this side, keep an eye on your man because he may want to come backside. So remember, that's your dude. You got to keep an eye on him. The goalie should be helping you out, and in this case, we'll have a midi on the crease defending that guy. So it'll be a lot coming at you quickly, but you did a real nice job at practice on Monday, moving around and listening and getting back. The biggest thing, right, is when you go out and play, let's say that you do have to go out and play ball or something like that, but then the ball gets, let's say the ball's over here and you're playing ball, but then it gets passed, you got to hustle back, all right? When we were practicing, you and I, we were playing there's only 2 of us back there, and so one was on ball, one was in the hole. Remember that. Do not stay out on the perimeter if you're a defender. Get back into the house and start looking to figure out where you're supposed to be. But the way we're going to play defense tomorrow should be relatively straightforward and simple, and you'll know which guy is your responsibility. And as long as we're even, that guy will always be your responsibility. If we go man down, things get a little bit more tricky, and you'll have to communicate and make the rotation happen. Unless they put an offensive guy on the crease, that then makes our job a little easier. It's a 4-man rotation on the outside to guard 5, and we have a lock-off defender on the crease man, okay? Yeah, that's it. So it's going to go great. Looking forward to having you out there, and go North.